Hello there, this is Tayo. I hope your week has been great. Happy Friday. Now, there's no such thing as cheap land. Now, when you say that something is cheap, on one hand, it can mean that that thing costs less compared to others. On the other hand, it can also mean that it doesn't worth so much. Now, when you come to land, okay, you can have land in some places that are not as costly as land in some other places. But the truth is, land is not a resource or a commodity that can be called cheap. Cheap meaning that it doesn't have a lot of value. The truth is, land in itself has got intrinsic value, inherent value by itself. You have land in a place, you live it for a while, uh, the value goes up. And what we have seen, especially in the place in Lagos State, for instance, is how uh, the value of land goes up in ways that you cannot even calculate or estimate. Okay, you see value of land jump from let's say 500,000 to 3 million in a space of 1 or 2 years. We've seen this happen um, again and again. If you go to advanced countries, there is a there is a way you can estimate the future value of the land, of a house, using certain parameters. But you bring that formula here to Lagos, it cannot work because, land appreciates in a way that you don't really see or find in other parts of the world. I'll give you a few examples. I know someone who bought land somewhere around that way, 11 acres, 2014, bought it for 10 million. At the time, I worked in the area for a while back in 2015, 2016, and it didn't look like a desirable place where you want to buy land, as it were. But as I speak today, that same place that I bought, for 10 million for 11 acres, which is about 60 plots, today is selling per plot for 8 million naira. 8 million naira. Nothing much has changed, on the land itself. Like, it's still the land. It wasn't as if it didn't do any surfing or anything. Okay, so even though at the time the price was low, it was not, you cannot call it cheap in terms of not having a lot of value. Okay, we have if you go to a place like Ibejuleki where a lot of people are investing today, you find that there are some areas where you still find land that are still quite cheap, and some people will rather wait until they have enough money to buy the ones of maybe 3 million, 2 million, 4 million. But what you should understand is the fact that all of these values will continue to go up. The one for 3 million today will go up to 4 million. Even the one that you think is cheap, you know, before you know it, the value will go up. And one other thing that we should realize as prospective property investors, especially if you're looking at a place of Lagos, in the next 5 to 10 years, you will not even find any of these low-priced lands anywhere in Lagos. Okay, 10 years ago, if they mentioned Ekpe to you, you'll be like, don't even. In fact, you even say, don't mention Ekpe, where I am. But the story is different today. You go to Ekpe, you see the development, you see, what's going on there. The value, the cost has gone up. The value has always been there, but the cost or the price has gone up. Many, many years back, not too many years, just a couple of years back, you go to a place like Ogombo Road off Ibrahim Soya. It looks like, like swamp. If they tell you, do you want to, come and buy land here, you may probably say, I mean, look, man, what do you want me to do here? You want a plot in that place today, you're looking at from 20 million naira upwards. Not much has changed. The road has always been there, but because land has got intrinsic value just by itself, it's got inherent value. The price may be low today, but tomorrow it will cost a lot more. So if you get a chance to buy land anywhere, just as long as you can verify that the land is genuine, doesn't have any issues, just invest or buy. Interestingly, even if you look at places like Abeokuta, for instance, Ibadan, just for example, some of these places you can get land for as cheap as 150,000, 200,000, but it's not going to remain that way forever. With the train, with the railway projects, which will make it possible for people to work in Ibadan, work in Abeokuta, and live in Lagos, it is very possible that you find a lot of people moving back to some of these places, to go and buy land. And what that will happen is that the cost of this land will start to go up. So land is not cheap, meaning the land is not doesn't there is no worthless land anywhere. Whatever land you can find and you can afford, just go ahead and buy it. Thank you for watching my video. See you again soon.